Have you ever exposed someone else's dark secret? When my son Leo was 4, he started coming home from daycare weird. Not sick weird, just off. He'd walk through the door and go straight to his room without even asking for his usual fruit snacks. My kid loved those things. Something was wrong. The first time I asked him about his day, he just shrugged. The second time, he said it was fine but wouldn't look at me. The third time, he started crying. Not the normal tired kid crying. The kind where he was holding it in so hard his whole body shook. I tried asking his teacher, Miss Taylor, about it during pickup. She smiled real big and said Leo was doing great, just a little shy sometimes. But her smile didn't reach her eyes. And I noticed Leo would grab my hand super tight whenever we walked past her classroom. One night I was tucking him in, and he was being extra clingy, wouldn't let go of my arm. Then he whispered something that made my blood run cold. Miss Taylor said if I tell Mommy, she'll throw away my drawings forever. I froze. Leo loved drawing more than anything. He had this little notebook he carried everywhere in his backpack. Drew dinosaurs and race cars and our dog Biscuit. The fact that someone threatened to take that away from him made me want to scream. I kept my voice calm and asked what he wanted to tell me, but he just shook his head and pulled his blanket over his face. I didn't push. Not yet. The next day I called the daycare and asked for a meeting. The director lady said they were really busy, but she'd get back to me. She never did. I called again 2 days later and she said Leo was probably just adjusting to the routine. He'd been going there for 8 months. That night I remembered the notebook. Leo had left his backpack by the door. I felt guilty looking through his stuff, but something told me I needed to. Inside were drawings that made me sick. One showed a stick figure boy in a dark room with tears coming down. Another had an adult with a pointing finger and an angry mouth. One drawing showed a kid behind a door with a lock on it. At the bottom, Leo had written in messy letters, "I was bad." My hands were shaking. I took pictures of every page with my phone. Then I started Googling the daycare name plus complaints or violations. Most stuff was normal, but then I found something from 2 years ago, a state inspection report. They'd gotten written up for improper timeout procedures. The teacher mentioned in the report was Miss Taylor. I called a lawyer my friend had used for a custody thing. Told him everything. He said the drawings were concerning but not enough proof on their own. Kids draw scary things sometimes. He said I could file a complaint, but it might not go anywhere. I wasn't going to let this go. I went on Amazon and found this kid's smartwatch thing. It looked like a toy but had a recorder app that worked like a walkie-talkie. I taught Leo how to tap the button if he ever felt scared or sad at school. Told him it would send me a message so I'd know he needed me. He wore it for a week. Came home every day normal. I started thinking maybe I was overreacting. Maybe the drawings were just from a bad dream or something he saw on TV. Then on Tuesday he came home and went straight to his room again. Didn't even say hi. I checked the watch. The audio was only 4 minutes long, but it was the worst 4 minutes of my life. I heard Miss Taylor screaming at the top of her lungs, "Sit there until you stop crying like a baby. I don't want to hear another sound." Then there was a bang like a door slamming. Leo was whimpering, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," over and over. I listened to it 3 times to make sure I wasn't hearing things wrong. Then I threw up in the kitchen sink. I didn't sleep that night. I made copies of everything. The drawings, the audio file, the inspection report. I sent it all to the State Child Care Licensing Board and the police. 2 days later, an investigator showed up at the daycare unannounced. They interviewed kids separately, checked the rooms, looked at records. Turns out I wasn't the only parent who had concerns. Once the investigation started, 3 other families came forward. One mom said her daughter Ava had been forced to stand facing a wall for 2 hours because she spilled juice. Another dad said his son came home and wouldn't go near closets anymore. When they finally asked him why, the kid said Miss Taylor locked him in the supply closet when he wouldn't nap. The daycare tried to act shocked, said they had no idea. But the inspector found emails. Parents had complained before. The director had told Miss Taylor to be more patient, but never actually did anything about it. Never reported it. Never fired her. Just hoped it would go away. Miss Taylor got fired that week. They pulled her child care license. She can't work with kids anywhere in the state now. The police pressed charges for child endangerment.